Have you just got yourself a GoPro Hero 8, but you don't know where to start? In this tutorial I'm going to walk you through how to set up your GoPro Hero 8, how to film with it, and also a few bonus editing tips so you can start creating videos right away. Hey, I'm Andy, filmmaker and author of Project GoPro, a GoPro video making school. On the site, link down in the description, you can find dozens of free tutorials that will help you get started right now. I've also left a link to download my free GoPro settings cheat sheet that has already helped thousands of GoPro users learn how to set up the GoPro before every shooting. Go and check it out. But now, without any further ado, let's get started. Alright, so here we are with the GoPro Hero 8. So today what we're gonna talk about is the recommended SD cards for the GoPro Hero 8, the replacements where you can find, extra SD cards in case you need extra storage, and also batteries, so battery replacement. Then we'll see how to set up the GoPro Hero 8 for the first shooting. Then I'll introduce the GoPro app on mobile phone and we'll see how to connect the GoPro to the app. Then we'll see how to operate the camera. I'm gonna give you different tips to operate the GoPro Hero 8 to the best. And then we'll see the recommended video and photo settings. I've actually got a cheat sheet where we're gonna go through and see the best settings for the most shot activities by GoPro. Then we'll move on to the general settings of the GoPro. Then we'll see, useful accessories that you might want to buy for your camera. Then we'll move on to tips, different tips, how to shoot, how to, record with the best lights, what to avoid and what to do. And then we'll finally move on to how to edit your GoPro videos directly from the GoPro app, simply and quite fast. So let's get started. So as mentioned before, GoPro comes with one battery and sometimes with an SD card, not all the time. It depends where you buy from, it might depend from different factors, but normally should come at least with a battery. Let's start with batteries. GoPro batteries don't last so long, so let's say that first. Because of this, you might need extra batteries when you go and shoot. So I would suggest you to buy at least a couple of batteries, so that you can at least film all day without recharging them. One battery, it depends how you set it up, what settings, what resolution and frame rate you choose, but based on that the battery will last longer or shorter. So of course, if you record at 4K with high demanding video settings, then the battery will last less. If you shoot on a lower frame rate or a lower resolution and switch off everything that you don't need, like Wi-Fi, Bluetooth connections, anything like that, then the battery will last longer. But more or less, roughly, it will last from 1 hour to 2 hours, more or less. So you might want to buy extra batteries. Same thing with the SD card. GoPro accepts anything above class 10 SD cards. That's the speed of cards. That's how you measure the speed of SD cards. Here on the screen you can see a graph with all the SD cards classes, and you can see what resolution you can record with these classes. But GoPro, at least class 10 or above. Size. About SD card size, I would suggest you to get at least a 64 gigabytes, if not 128 or 256. In this way you won't have problems of running out of space every time. Don't get it too big, like 500 gigabytes, because it might not support it. Now, to access the SD card and the battery, it's just from this door. So you just pull it, open it, this will come off, and here we find the battery. So you can pull it and take the battery off, and here we find the SD card. So like so, you just click it and the SD card will come out. This is one of the recommended SD cards. It's a Samsung Evo Select of 128 gigabytes. It works pretty well, it's fast, it's a fast SD card, and you can also shoot in 4K without any problem. That's how you insert the SD card. The contacts has to be on this side, on the external side, so you just press it it has to click and the SD card it's inside. You can insert the GoPro battery just like so. Make sure that the contacts are on the right way. So you just put it in and it should go in like so. Then close the door, click it, and then close it like so. Alright, now let's have a look how to set up the GoPro Hero 8 on the first shooting. So let me make some space and record also with this GoPro so we can see what's going on. So to turn it on first, you can turn it on from here, from this button, just press and hold it, and the GoPro will just turn it on. Like so. So as soon as you turn it on, you can see that you have different settings on the screen. The main setting what you're interested in is this one. You will access to custom settings, so to all GoPro settings. Here you've got different presets, so these presets will allow you to be faster at choosing different settings, you know, when you don't want to pick them manually. But in this case, you can custom the settings from this button here and, you know, and adjust anything that you want. But we'll have a look at this later. Let's now focus on the main function of the GoPro. So like when you first turn it on, that's how it will look. You can change mode from video to photo to time-lapse, like with the mode button, with the power button, which is the same. So you just press it once and it will change mode: video, photo, and time-lapse. Then you can access the medias just by doing so, swapping up, and this is how you access medias. With this button you can also scroll through the media like so. Here I was in a van on holidays, and here you can set up the playback speed, slow-mo or not slow-mo. Of course, if you this works only if you shot this in slow motion. Then from this button you can delete the clip, and here you can put a marker where, for example, you've got an interesting part in the video. You can just highlight it by tapping this button here. So this function is pretty cool. Now this is the media, basically how you access the media. If you want to see all the clips, you just tap on this icon and it will load all of the clips like so. Now let's go back by tapping the mode button, and now you can see that from the top rec button, if you press it once, it will just start recording because now we are on a video mode. If you switch to photo and you click this button, it will just take a photo like so. So it's very simple. To switch it off, you just press and hold this button, like if you want to turn it on. You can also start shooting or take a photo by just pressing this button on top, even if the GoPro is off. So once you press it, you see it will start recording right away, so that you can save some time, you know, instead of turning it on and then start recording with this button. If you set it in this way, it will just start recording. All right, now let's move on to the GoPro app. You should be able to download the GoPro app from the App Store or from the Play Store. Just type GoPro app, download it, and open it up. Let's have a look. The GoPro app now is called Quik. So this is how the GoPro Quik app looks like when you open it. You can connect your GoPro by just tapping here. Let's see, I already connected the GoPro. This is a Hero 6 which I'm recording with. So let's add a new GoPro by tapping on the GoPro one, and no camera found because the GoPro Hero 8 is off. So make sure that your GoPro it's on, and also in preferences go on connections, and wireless connection should be on. Then click on connect device, GoPro app, Now it says install the GoPro app on your phone to finish setup. So make sure you install the GoPro app, you open it up, and then once you open the app, you should find a GoPro. So now it's searching. You should be able to see the GoPro Hero 8. Here we go. And then tap on connect camera. Pair. Connection successful. Alright, so it's going to update the firmware automatically if it's outdated. I'm not gonna do it now because it's gonna take some time, but make sure the firmware is always up to date in order for your GoPro to work, you know, better. So skip for now. Let's connect it. I just want to show you how it looks. Enable preview, so you can preview what your GoPro camera is seeing. Wants to join Wi-Fi network, you join. All right, cool. So here we go. You can control your GoPro remotely with the GoPro app, GoPro Quik, just by wireless. So that's pretty cool. You can control the GoPro settings also from here. You can start and stop the shootings. You can change mode. And you can do so many things from the app, which is pretty cool. From this same app, you can also edit your footage after the shooting. So this is the new released app, GoPro Quik, which lets you do everything in one place. So now let's move on to how to operate the camera. So we can operate it, as I said, from the phone once you connect it to the GoPro Quik app, or from the camera. From the phone, it's quite simple. If you want to access to the settings, just tap on the settings icon here and you have camera preferences. So, you know, you can change anything here about the camera. In fact, this is the camera preferences. If you want to change the settings, like video settings, photo settings and modes, you should be able to do it from here. So this is a custom setting. From here we'll see everything: resolution, frame rate, lens, you know, if it's wide or linear, narrow, super view, and then hyper smooth. You got everything from here. You can also do that through on the GoPro itself, as I showed you before, by tapping here, and you go to the camera settings. This is the main settings of the GoPro. So we'll see that you can change resolution, FPS and everything else from this screen. And what's important, I would actually choose 1080 at 60. This is the general settings that I would shoot pretty much everything, unless I want to shoot a really slow motion, like while I'm surfing or while I'm skiing and things like that. So in that case, I will keep 1080p, but I will increase the frame per second. So I would either choose 120 or 240. Hyper smooth, I would keep it on if it's, you know, well lit environment. So if you got light, if you are on low light, hyper smooth will create digital artifacts, so the quality won't be so high. Lens, it depending what you're shooting, what you're doing, but normally if you're vlogging, you can either choose narrow or linear. If you're doing some kind of sport where you want to see also the surroundings, like surfing for example, then I would either go for wide or super view. And what else? Anyway, you should be able to see all of these recommended settings on the GoPro cheat sheet that I've created for you guys. You can find it here down below in the description. Then we can access to ProTune if we go down, and ProTune is like the custom settings, like the more advanced settings for GoPro. Here you can see you can choose the bitrate. Bitrate, basically if you put high bitrate, the quality will be higher. If you put select standard bitrate, the quality will be slightly worse, but with a lower file size in comparison. You can also choose manually the shutter. Here it's on auto, but you can put it on manual if the light is constant and won't change, as well as white balance, ISO min and max. This is the range where GoPro is gonna choose between 100 and 400. If you want to have a fixed ISO level, you can just select 100 and 100, but I won't suggest that because you always need some kind of room to adjust your ISO depending on the light conditions. So I would choose between 100 and 400. Sharpness, I would keep it on medium. The color, you can either have GoPro color, which applies like a color filter, would give like a GoPro style look in a way, but I like to have it on flat, so then later I can apply any color correction, any color grading, or even like my filters or any other filters like LUTs to give a different style and mood to the video. Here, raw audio, I would keep it on off. I don't want to mess around with raw audio so much, unless you're really like an audio designer and know what you're doing. Then you can switch this to different settings. This will provide a raw audio track. While if you keep it on off, GoPro will do itself and try to provide the best audio out of the conditions, out of the the audio conditions that you have around. Wind, if you keep it on auto, it says automatically filters out excessive wind and water noise, so I would always keep it on auto. And that's it. From the shortcuts, you can change the shortcuts on the main screen. So by changing this, it will affect these icons and what you can do with these icons. Now, how do you operate the camera? So the buttons for start shooting, of course, is the rec button. If you are on video mode, then by pressing this button, you will start recording. And by pressing again, it will stop recording, and it will do the same with time-lapse and photo. So it will take a photo if you press it here and you are on photo mode, of course. Then on the bottom, you'll have these little supports that you can use to connect it or any GoPro mountings very simply. Let's move on to the general GoPro settings, which are, let's say, GoPro preferences. That's how GoPro calls it. You can access these general settings, which lets you control the connections, the Wi-Fi, the brightness of the LCD, and many other things by just swiping down from top to bottom. And then you'll have this screen. On this screen, you tap on preferences and you'll access to connections, like we've seen before, to connect the GoPro to the camera, to the GoPro Quik app. So here you've got all the connections. If you don't need them, I would suggest you to switch everything off because it will drain your battery faster. And then you got camera info, Wi-Fi band, and reset connections. We're not so interested about that. Let's move on to general. You can just change the beep, the volume, quick capture. The quick capture, keep it on because it allows you to start recording straight away with the press of a button, with the press of the rec button, even when the GoPro is off, like we've seen before. But in order to do that, you need to have the quick capture on all the time. Video compression. Now, I would suggest you to keep H.264 plus HEVC. Then from here you can just select the date, the time, and the date format. Alright, voice control. Voice control is a pretty cool feature because you can control the GoPro with your voice. You can start shooting and stop shooting, you can do many other things, but just with your voice. So in order to control your GoPro with your voice, you need to have voice control on, so just select on. You can wake up the GoPro when it's off just with your voice, but in order to do that you need to select wake on, voice on. This will drain a little bit of battery, so make sure that if you don't need to wake your GoPro up with your voice, keep this off, otherwise the battery will go down. Language and comments. If you click on comments, you will see all of the comments that you can use to control your GoPro. After voice control, we'll have the touch screen. There are different settings here, brightness, etc. From here you can switch on or off the GPS so that when you record with your GoPro, it will also save the GPS values, so where you are, the speed, and anything else related to GPS. You can change the language and other things like this. Then we got input and output. This one should come on when you attach the media mod. Now it's not available, and that's it. Then you can reset all of the settings from the reset button here. Cool, so after looking at the GoPro, how to operate it, how to set it up for the first shooting, the best settings, remember to download the GoPro cheat sheet for the best GoPro settings. We can move on to some, useful accessories that I would actually recommend you to get in order to make the most of your GoPro. Since like my first GoPro, I always used, and I find it really useful, this clip. This clip has a magnet, so you can attach it, on and wherever it's like you've got metal, and it's pretty handy, because you can attach it anywhere. You can also like clip it on things. It's pretty handy, so definitely worth it. This is the original GoPro accessory, the GoPro clip. Then if you got a Hero 8 and you want to, let's say, vlog or document your travels and talk to the camera, then I would actually recommend you the media mod, because it has got a better microphone. It's a directional microphone, so it won't pick up all of the ambient noise. At least it will reduce them, and it's better. It's got a better audio. Then also get yourself the light that you can attach on top of it. This is very useful for low light conditions, because we know that the GoPro has a small sensor, relatively small sensor, and with small sensors like smartphone, for example, they don't perform quite well in low light. And an extra light is always useful. So this is also the original GoPro light that you can attach on the media mod. After that, if you want to attach an external microphone, you can either do so by having an adapter, because the GoPro doesn't have an audio input with the standard jack, but you need to buy an adapter like this one from USB-C to the audio jack input, like so. So this would connect to the GoPro, like from here. And then here it would connect any microphone like this one. Here you go. If you want to have a better audio quality. This is a Rode microphone. It's pretty good. It works also on wind with the dead cat. So after the microphone to improve your audio on GoPro, what I found useful were the bands, to attach the GoPro on your head, on the helmet, or on the chest. So this is a chest band. With this one you can put your GoPro right here and have free hands to do, whatever you're doing, the activity that you want to shoot. With this one you can put your GoPro on the head. In this way you will have like a POV view, so like with your hands free, and it's a really nice mode of shooting in a way. After the mountings, we've got this accessory. It's useful at the beach because it won't let your GoPro draining in the water. Yeah, this will float, so I would suggest you to get this. You can find it on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. And then we've got the ND filters. So ND stands for neutral density filters. You can also get the polarized filters. These filters attach on top of your GoPro on the lens, of course, with this thing. And these filters basically will limit the light going into the camera sensor, so then you can control your camera, you can control your GoPro even further. Go on ProTune, switch to ProTune, control the shutter speed, and make, for example, long exposure photos. You know, long exposure photos of, for example, water, which looks like pretty nice. And the filters also helps your GoPro to lower the value of the shutter speed, so that you can have a better look, a better cinematic look. If you also get a polarized filter, then you can use this one to reduce the reflection on water or on snow, for example. It will increase the image quality, and I would actually suggest it to you if you are looking to shoot in this kind of environments where there is a lot of reflection. Another really useful accessory would be the GoPro pole. It's like basically a long pole where you can attach the GoPro, and you can also use that to fake a drone shot. If you get a really long pole, like 4 or 5 meters, like 10 feet, 15 feet pole, you can attach the GoPro on top and have this really high view, which looks pretty awesome. And you can use this when you're not allowed to use a drone, in places where, you know, the drone is not allowed, or even like to fake a drone shot. So if you don't have a drone, get yourself a really long stick that is way cheaper than a drone, and try to put your GoPro on it, and you'll see the results are pretty awesome. All right, after the accessories, let me give you a couple of tips to get you started shooting with your GoPro. So tip number 1, make short clips. Do not make like two minutes of video clips, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, that's too long. If you do that, then later in post-production, when you want to edit your videos, it's just gonna be a big mess. And many people just end up like frustrated because it's too much footage to edit. They don't know how to edit, and they would just give up. While if you shoot just short sequences of clips, like 5 to 10 seconds sequences, then later it's way easier for you to like select the clips that you don't need and throw away the ones that you do not need. Tip number 2 is adjust the GoPro settings by using the cheat sheet. So if you haven't got it yet, make sure you download it. It's free. You can find down in the description, and there you can find all the suggested GoPro settings, you know, to use for every single activity. So we saw how to use the GoPro Quik app to control the GoPro. Now let's see how to use it to perform a small edit. So let's have a look. Now the GoPro is connected to the app. Cool. In order to access the editing part, you basically want to download all of the medias from the GoPro to the phone by accessing the media. So click on View Media. It's gonna load all of your medias. Okay, later. Then you want to select the medias and then download them into the phone. I'm just gonna choose them randomly, just for the purpose of showing you how to do it. So let's say I want these 3 media. I'm going to save them to the phone. It's gonna take some time depending how big these media are. Tap here, you'll get to the medias. And once you got the medias in your phone, you can also have them in the cloud. If you're connected to the internet, of course, you can have it in your phone or in the app. So here you've got the edits. We want to start a new edit, so start an edit. This will create a new project. Start an edit. If you click here, the GoPro will automatically create an edit, so it will let you choose the clips that you want to include in the edit, and it can create an automatic edits for you. You can also customize this edit that the GoPro Quik app has created for you. So let's see how to do it. So these are the media within my phone. Let's choose this one. It's just a media that I had it in the phone, and click here for the GoPro to create the edit for you. If you don't like the edit or you want to customize it, you can just click here to customize this clip. You can trim it, highlight it, change the framing like so, level the horizon if it's not on level. You can do all sorts of things. Change the speed, you can speed it up or down depending if you shot it in slow motion or not. Change the volume, mute, mix it or boost, and add text and adjust the colors, the exposure, the vibrance and things like that. You can add more medias next to it, so if you click here you'll be able to pick another media and this will add it next to it. Then once you're happy with your medias, once you're happy with your clips, then click on done. This is your timeline where you can control the style of the video, so it will put different transitions and effects. Here you can pick up any song by GoPro. This should be copyright free songs, so you shouldn't have any problem, you know, when you upload them on the social media. After choosing your song, you can export it, but before exporting it you have to choose the export format that you would like to use. For example, if you're going to share this movie on, I don't know, like just with your friends or on the computer, you want to see it on TV, then I would suggest you to keep 16:9 horizontal. Then depending where you want to share it, if you want to share it on social media, then you might want to choose a square format like so, or even the vertical format like 9/16 like so. In this case I'm gonna choose 16:9, save it. You can save as a new or overwrite the project. Save plus overwrite, that's my setting. And finally you can then share your video by tapping on this icon here and then save to your gallery. That's it. That's how you can easily edit GoPro footage after shooting. And that was my full guide on how to get started with your GoPro Hero 8. Here I tried to cover most key points that you need to get started making your first video. Make sure you download the GoPro cheat sheet, link below, so that you never miss the perfect GoPro settings every time. If you have more questions, just let me know in the comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and if you liked this video, please like and subscribe, as it will help the YouTube algorithm show it to other GoPro enthusiasts like you. Stay healthy and I'll see you in the next video.